I'm a planner. I like to plan things. So imagine my situation when I realized that the way my life was going and the way that I had planned was not going to lead me where I wanted to go. My life at the time I decided to become a minimalist was very material oriented. My goal really was to get the most stuff I could so I could be as happy as possible. And it wasn't until I watched a documentary called Minimalism on Netflix that I realized that that wasn't me. After I watched this documentary, I was very curious. So I went on YouTube. I looked up something along the lines of why to become a minimalist or how to become a minimalist. And I saw a TED Talk from the same guys who did the documentary. Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus. I watched this TED Talk, and something that they said really stuck with me. There was a part where Joshua's mother had died. So he went down to wherever she lived, I think it was Florida. He went down there and looked at all this stuff that she had. And was like, oh man, what am I going to do with this? I guess I'll put it in a storage locker because no one wants it. So he starts thinking about, oh my gosh, when I die, all my stuff is going to be like this too. No one wants it. It's going to go to waste sitting in a storage locker. So what does he do? He cancels the U-Haul he called and starts taking pictures of things. Because for him, the memories were what was keeping him attached to the stuff, and that he didn't want to sell because of the memories that were attached to the items, not the items themselves. So he does this, and then he starts bringing that into his own life, and immediately there's a difference. Like his coworkers notice, everyone around him notices that he's different. And so for me, that really struck a chord because I was sitting on my bed and I looked around my room and I was like, one, this is disgusting and messy. And two, I don't need any of this. So that day, I decided, all right, I'm gonna do this. So I went through my room, pulled out all of my clothes, like everything. And I realized that there was stuff I hadn't worn in years. And there was stuff that was just too small for me or too big for me that I would never wear again. So why was I holding on to something that had no purpose for me and I could donate and maybe help somebody else? So the thing with minimalism is it's not about having the least amount of stuff, but having stuff that brings value to your life and provides you with some kind of service, or you can use it to be productive. Like, okay, I'm a musician. I have like 7 guitars, but I use them all, and they bring value to my life. When I was younger, I collected baseball cards. I had boxes and boxes full of baseball cards. Just sitting in the basement, taking up so much space. I looked, and I'm like, man, there's so much space here that's being occupied by something I don't want. I got rid of everything, and immediately, like, I felt like there was this weight lifted off my shoulders because I didn't have to worry about my things anymore. So I encourage you, you don't have to go and get rid of all your stuff, but just take a step back and really look at the things that you have and ask yourself, do I need this or is this important to me? Because the answer a lot of times is probably no.